Hey everybody, how you guys doing today? We have more Heroes of the Storm action on Color TV, and we have another game of the Open the Nexus tournament. It is Team Fancy going up against ESC Gaming. And the last time that we saw Team Fancy, they were able to take down Gamers 2, was a pretty cool game on Sky Temple, and this time they are up against a completely different team on Cursed Hollow. And Team ESC, they underwent a couple of lineup changes this recently as well. They have now one of the former well-met players in their roster. Gadam Head is playing for them. And the lineups that we see today in terms of team composition are extremely interesting. ESC has been starting to ban out Diablo in every single match that they played. Apparently they were completely fed up with that Apocalypse, Maw, Apocalypse, Void Prison combination and decided to just ban out Diablo. And suddenly we have Team Fancy banning out Shen, so the tanks are one of the focus for both of the teams. And with Team Fancy picking their tank much faster, there was suddenly a lineup problem for the ESC Gaming lineup. And they were looking at it and was like, okay guys, what are we going to do here? They had already quite some stun, they had a bit of burst, and they decided to go Stitches, a hero that we haven't seen in a long time. And they're playing more of a traditional comp here, going into Stitches, Uther, and Tyrande. So it's really one of those snipe comps where you rely heavily on Stitches to hook a target in and try to burst that down. Very interesting combinations just in general. For Team Fancy once more, we have Zagara, which is starting to become more and more popular in the European scene. We've been talking about this in former games already. But now in Cursed Hollow, we're going to find out which team is going to take it here. Who will advance to the next round of the tournament, towards the finals? Is it going to be Team Fancy or will it be ESC Gaming?
Okay, boys, we are back in action with the semi-final at the tournament today. We have already here on Cursed Hollow at Open the Nexus a great game coming up now with ESC versus Team Fancy, which is going to be pretty awesome actually. Both of the teams have been doing very well in the tournament. I'm curious to see who's going to win it here. We have Nepse to the left side for Team ESC with Uther, anti-hero on Stitches, which is amazing to see him here. Invidium on Vala, Gadam Head on Tyrande, and Snow on Jaina. To the right side of the map, it's Devis on Tassadar for Team Fancy, Crosby on Zagara, Darkmorg on Sylvanas, Blumby on ETC, and Tongjae on Malfurion. I'm loving this game already for just so many different reasons. First of all, we've seen both of the teams play today and the games were very enjoyable and I really liked that. I was actually even speculating about a potential combo with Vala going for a right-click build and kind of thought they wouldn't go for it, but they do it. They go for the right-click build and that is great. And just because you have this burst potential, you want to blow somebody up right now. The Stitches hook is of course the biggest threat to Team Fancy at this point. Then the stun from Sylvanas, sorry, not from Sylvanas, from Tyrande. The stun from Uther, the Hunter's Mark, and the right-click damage from Vala together with that burst damage on Jaina is just such an amazing tool. And Stitches, you don't really see him all that often anymore in the current meta, and one of the main reasons for that is that the other tanks are just like extremely strong, and Stitches got a bit nerfed in the last patch as well. But right now, the one thing that we're really seeing here is that the bans and the picks in this game, especially the bans, really dictated the pace of the game quite a lot. Diablo was banned out to avoid any kind of Apocalypse comps, and at the same time we saw a ban on Shen, and that put a really interesting spin on things. So Stitches was the last pick here, and that comp is still very strong if you get it, and you can see that we have Fancy trying to run that same strategy that they did already earlier in one of the games. They are going for a massive push at the top lane, but if you run against Stitches in this case, you have to be so careful. If that hook hits like it does here, you get obliterated, and there's the kill against Malfurion. That's exactly what they are trying to do here, Team ESC. So the first kill for them, and that push that we saw destroy a team earlier on today within, I think, 7 or 8 minutes is already a lot weaker. Like, it's still doing some work. I mean, you can see that already, like how the game is going here. But it is kind of stopped, at least for now, and Darkmorg has to move away here, and he does. That hook doesn't really hit anything. But this game, there's a lot of potential for both of the teams to do so much damage here. At this point, we're having Devis and Nepse in the mid lane, Uther going up against Tassadar. Down to the bottom of the map, on the other hand, it's Blumby versus Invidium. The right-click build is still pursued by Vala, using that later most likely to really just burst down a target together with Jaina and Tyrande, trying to lock that down. But since Stitches had to move back for a second, Team Fancy took the opportunity to burst a tower, and you could really see how fast that happened. Within seconds, that tower just was gone. Once again, Darkmorg is there. they need to be so careful that that hook is not going to hit them, because if Anti-Hero gets that hook in, they're going to lose another hero for sure. I don't think that Gett is going to miss his stun, and Snow will use that Blizzard to just obliterate any target that gets into reach. Suddenly there's the Tribute, they're trying to get it. Oh, that root, nice zoning as Devis moves in too. They're taking the ward down before it does anything at all. Yeah, and that owl just hits a bit too late. So the first Tribute ends up in the hands of Team Fancy, and they are doing really well here. They lost the first hero in the game, granted, but still, they are pushing this pretty hard. And that's, of course, the idea behind it. Stitches is going for the only build that is really available to him these days, since Blizzard already nerfed the Slam build quite significantly. I personally think that was not really needed, since it gave Stitches just a lot of opportunities, but they kind of crippled Pulverize, the old talent. It doesn't do the mini stun anymore, but just provides a bit of a slow, and that doesn't really help you any longer. So most of the Stitches players just resigned and said, alright, it's time to go for the fishing hook build every single game, and that's what they're doing. Apparently the rotation here trying to win that fight. Oh, that is a bold move. They're getting the camp. The Bruiser camp is already taken. Snow is in trouble though. Nepsa with a stun, and they are being chased. They're being chased, and they're being chased hard. Anti-Hero moves away and covers the retreat with another Blizzard. They didn't get the hard camp. The Bruisers are moving in towards the second wave of defense here. But we still see, we saw Bloomby at least trying to move in for another pursuit. And another Tribute is now on the map, and maybe they're able to get that, but Anti-Hero and Nepsa, they're trying to get in position for another hook, and of course this is a really good position to get those hooks in. Crosby on Zagara is starting to move away. He's also quite low in mana. You have to be careful with that, especially since Invidium is already moving in. They don't have the level 7 talent. Oh, ESC has that on the other hand. Nice dodge on a hook and Lunar Flare. But 7 is still not ready for Team Fancy. They don't have the talent. They have a double healing ward, which makes it easier for them to really stay in the position. But without the level 7 talent, they don't really want to fight here. Tenderizer on Stitches with that with sustain build that he uses. Now we have battle momentum on Vala. Oh, the move back. Oh, Devis is getting sniped. Yeah, Zagara at the top lane is of course going to try to make up for the experience that they just lost in that instant. But it is a match that is completely different from everything that we saw so far today, and you can really tell. I mean, Fancy had a lot of decent opponents, but this is a completely different beast that they are facing right now, and it shows. ESC is in the lead in experience. Once again, endless creep being taken as the trade on Zagara. Down to the bottom lane, Bloomby and Invidium are starting to dance their dance again. ETC jumps in, pushes her away maybe. Yep, there it is. Devis is jumping in for a quick storm, but it's not enough damage to drop her. Not enough damage to drop Vala in the mid lane. Tongji and Nepsa are fighting it out still as more camps are taken on the map. The Siege Giant camp to the left side of the map, and we're having Zagara getting in position to just make sure that she can push the top lane once again, but also the creep tumors, most of them already down. Here comes the opportunity to maybe push a second tower in, but the Tribute is spawning once more, and that would be the second one for both of the teams. Dark Mog is still in position at the top lane against the two Siege Giants that we see here. Sylvanas is of course great with the Withering Arrow, and also, oh, the Shadow Dagger. Moving in again, oh, but Snow tries to get that Blizzard in. The slow is there, Dark Mog, oh, wasn't cooldown on the Shadow Wave. Down she goes, Malfurion dies at the Tribute fight, and suddenly ESC is way ahead in this game. Very, very well done there. Invidium, Gedanherd, Anti-Hero, and Nepsa, they kill Malfurion. It's 4 kills against 0 right now. They have the level 10s already, so at this point, there's no way for Team Fancy to contest anything. They can't fight at any point in the game. Snow is trying to get away. Oh, he is going to be taken out. But he is still getting the kill against Zagara. So 1-for-1 trade for him, even though he was ganked. Very well done by Snow. So, yes, Jaina dies, but it doesn't really matter all too much. 2 Tributes already in the hands of ESC Gaming, and they get the boss as well. Can now move cross-map if they want and try to go for the second one, while the first one barrels down the bottom lane and threatens the fort. So that's going to be nice. We have Pudric Bile taken. It is the water elemental in the last fight that you could see there. Uther didn't really make his choice just yet, whether he wants to go into the Divine Shield or if he wants to use Divine Storm instead. But without the level 10 talent, there's very little that Team Fancy can do right now. Bot lane, that boss is going full ham. Finally the 10 on the board for Fancy. They have more, they have Wailing Arrow, they have Tranquility and Archon, and so far no choice yet on ETC as Uther went for the Divine Storm. They're going for the team stun. And this tribute up to the top lane, I mean, you all know what that means. That's tribute number 3. That's the curse tribute. That's the curse tribute that you need to go for. This is getting very, very tricky. Nepse, Gadamherd, Antihero, Snow, and Invidium, they are starting to do their thing here. Blumby at the bot lane, yes, they're thrown at the bot lane from below is starting to move in. The lockdown against Nepse, it's a fight on even talents. That's the opportunity that they were waiting for. It's one of the chances that they have, and they have to give up that tribute, as there's just way too much power going on with the Archon form being used. But right now, Archon is already over. There comes the hook attempt, getting nothing in. Oh, Blumby gets stunned once. Oh, there more! Great more, great more. Does Malfurion still have an attacking route? It doesn't look like he does. But that Blizzard and that Starfall doing way too much work here already. ETC dashes away and goes down. Dark Mok is trying to escape, but the hook against Tungjie might drop him. No stun apparently available to ESC. They couldn't go for the follow-up, and they are all extremely low, but it looks like they are going to get away. All of them are so low, but nobody is dying. Nobody is dying. The Baelings, they rush in. Snow is dodging all of them. This is crazy. All of them on so little health, but they still survive. The problem for them, of course, is that the tribute down to the bottom lane is spawning, and they, all of them, had to retreat and get mana and HP back. And this means that the tribute, I mean, they can send one owl in, but if he dodge, the interrupt is there. Can they really get there in time? I don't think so. No way. No. There it is, the curse against them, but the hook against Tungjie, and goodbye Malfurion. With a 13 talent, he could have maybe gone for an ice block, but they are 2 level away from 13, so there's no chance for them to really do anything about that. So it is, in this point, it is actually the curse against them, and this is getting really tricky. This is getting very, very tricky right now for Team Fancy. I mean, they get the curse against their opponent, so it's a bit of a weird thing to say, but if you just look at how the game went so far, at the experience rate that we're seeing for ESC, then the curse is not going to matter all too much. I mean, what is that curse gonna do, effectively? Take down a fort? Well, yeah, sure, but, well, even if that happens, and so far I'm not really convinced it will, because, well, we see them, like, defend on 3 lanes, it's not gonna help you too much. It could put a boss into the hands of Fancy, but they are trying to contest that already, and they might be successful with it. And even if they are not, that boss is maybe gonna kill a fort, and that's about it. Here they go, moving in again. The boss is starting to push into. They're caught between a rock and a hard place, I want to say. The curse is going to be over in just 2 seconds, and there comes Antihero and the rest of the team. They're going to try and go for the boss now. They're going to try and go for it. They have their rogue abilities still up. Putrid Bile could be used more already. And what are they going to do? They're trying to go in for the power slide, and they kill against Invidium. That was a good one. Can they follow it up with even more? They need to. They need to try and kill more heroes, but Sylvanas is already dead, and Blumby is dying on ETC, and now suddenly all the gates just open up. The floodgates are open. Snow is trying to move in. Antihero, is he going to go for the hook? Is he going to go for the hook? He doesn't have the cooldown ready. Yeah, they get the double kill, they get the boss also, and this is just bad news. 14 against 12, that extra talent really, really helping out ESC Gaming in that last fight. Relentless on Stitches, the sprint on Jaina, having also Giant Killer available on Vala for the extra right-click damage, and the Shrink Ray on Uther was just a bit too much here. Not only even talking about Tyrande with the extra heal that she can provide thanks to level 13 talent, and now the fort at the top lane is being eliminated. 9 kills against 2. The bottom lane already held by Invidium, who's starting to push that back. There's very, very little momentum going for Team Fancy now. It's all about ESC Gaming, and they are trying to just like get the next few camps. Already down here, 8 seconds on the boss, and that's of course an opportunity that ESC Gaming wants to use. The counter aggression up to the top, and this is a lot of pushing potential. Like, this is something that you can't ignore. If they would go for the push up here at the keep, I think ESC Gaming would have had to move back. But, well, the problem for Team Fancy is that they don't know where they are. They suspect they are at boss, but what happens when they get blindsided from behind and they get killed? So they needed to do something. They made the decision to not push any further. But yeah, that is... If they are left alone for just a couple of seconds, they can push in any wall within seconds. I mean, just think about it. We have a Sylvanas, we have a Zagara in here. There's also the Natasada. They need to deal with the boss now first, and they have a level 13 talent, which puts Evasive Fire into the hands of Sylvanas. But it looks like they're really just fighting for the tribute, and for very good reason, because that would be the third tribute for ESC Gaming, and it's a fight on even talents. Not levels, but at least in the talent department, they are on the same level right now. The attempt to go for... Oh, Tyrande gonna get the kill! No, they keep her alive! How do they do it? Oh, they keep Tyrande alive, but she's very low. Snow goes in. Can he place down a Blizzard? Oh, Invidium is eating a lot of damage from Crosby. Good position here that we are seeing for Team Fancy now. Oh, that lockdown. But again, Snow moves in there. I have to give them some credit. I mean, Fancy is setting very good positions up, but ESC keeping those heroes alive, that was really quite something. Especially that Tyrande didn't die was so important. Oh my god, that fishing hook, and look how they just blow up Tasta within a fraction of a second. Darkmog is dying as well. It's the double kill. And of course, thanks to level 16. That fishing hook which just came in time for that. True Shot Aura is ready. Northern Exposure is also there. Sorry, yeah, Northern Exposure. Benediction and the Blood for Blood. They keep, the boss nearly took it down, and they are just supplying the last few damage points to really drop that. And, well, at this point, Invidium still alive on his Vala, gets away here. The Blizzard covering the retreat once again. There's also the double stun against Blumi and Hongje on ETC and Malfurion, and they are just rushing away here. Antihero is unhorsed for a second, but that's about it. And up to the top, we're having another tribute, and this time they can fight with 16 talents against 13 with ease. In the last fight, the 16 kicked in after the tribute was already taken, but this time they have it in time, and they can just move in and try to take that out. This is... I don't know what they can do. Another problem is that, well, Zagara is trying to provide vision. She can't. They kind of have to fight, but then again, they cannot really win this. Or can they? Maybe if they blow one target up. They need to have perfect control, and they're trying to go for it. The Starfall is already there. We have Water Elemental used. Neps is moving back. There is no more available. They can maybe go for that Mosh Pit. If they land a good one, they have a chance here. The Water Elemental has been eliminated. That was an important step already. We have Tranquility used on Malfurion. They're trying to pursue them, but they have no gap closers. They have no real initiators that could really lock them down, and therefore ESC is turning around again, and they're locking down Darkmog. He stands no chance whatsoever. Down goes Sylvanas, followed by ETC. It's just that burst potential that we have that is absolutely insane. Having all of these talents going up on a single target with the Blood for Blood on Vala, the right-click damage with the steering attack, another kill against Zagara in this case. It's too many stuns. It's too much damage in not enough time. This is just... If you get hooked, you are dead. The only reason why you would ever survive such a brutal composition is because one of the players on the side of ESC Gaming kind of blows it. That's the only reason why you would ever survive that. Only if one of them makes a mistake can you really survive that. That's way too much damage. With the Hunter's Mark and all of those talents that they have, with the enormous lockdown and that crowd control into crowd control, there's just nothing you can do. They get blown to pieces. They are behind in talents. They are behind in levels, in stats. They got the tribute. I mean, that's at least a bit of a success that they had there, but at what cost? 14 kills against 2 in the game. The only thing that Team Fancy can try and do in this game right now is try and survive. If they are able to somehow survive until... Yeah, I don't even know, like 16 versus 16, is that maybe the chance that they have? Wait until 20 versus 20, something. They need to fight on even talents, and then they need to get a very good battle, a good position in the fight. That could be what brings them back into this match, but at this point, it's a struggle. The Cursed Tribute is there. This is the one, and Anti-Hero, he's gonna try and hook again. He's gonna try and hook, and is he gonna get anybody? Yes, he's gonna get Devis, but he moves back just in the last second. Now Hook is down for another 12 seconds. Is that the time for them to push it in? Is that the time for Fancy to maybe get that? Here comes the Owl, already blocked at the same time. Anti-Hero is on the move, and they're going for it. They're going for Stitches. There comes the Vala ultimate, going for the Rain of Vengeance. Oh, that more hitting Get Head, but it does not count. ETC goes down, the Starfall is there, the Hook against Tungjae. He goes for the Ice Block, that saves his ass for a few seconds, and he also gets Shrink Raid and tries to save himself with a quick Entangling Root. But Vala, Snow actually getting a bit low, but he is not alone. He has friends, and they are coming in from behind to drop Zagara here. So the Tribute, they are not getting it just yet. Darkmog is getting low now too. Wow! gets away. Invidum doesn't have the mana for another vault, and here comes the heal by Tongjae. So they are going to get away, but the Tribute is going to put the curse on to Team Fancy. Team Fancy is going to be cursed again, and we have 2 bosses up on the map, one to the bottom, another one up at the top. And of course, this is not the only story here. It's also a level problem that they're facing now. Of course, it's at least the same talent that they have, but with level 18 and 19 just around the corner for ESC Gaming, they just established their dominance on the map once again. 16 kills against 2 in this game. This is a bit... This is damn crazy. I mean, the boss attempt up at the top lane, this is the only thing that they can do. Move to the boss, try to drop its soul as fast as they can, and then at least get that. If they have 2 bosses going up against them, then they're never going to be able to do anything here. But Gerd Amherd and his team, they are there in time. The hook is maybe missing, but they can take that fight, and they want to take that fight. Blizzard is doing damage against Dark Mok. Sylvanas is very low. Here's the healing ward, and they have to move through that for both of the teams. The bottom lane is being pushed. That's where the boss is getting really tricky, and they need to move back at some point. They can't just simply stay here and try and fight for the boss. They can't. They have to move back and defend. But, oh, the attempted kill against Tassadar. Nope, in this case, it's not going to happen. Nebze, is he going to die? Nope, but they're killing Sylvanas. They're killing Sylvanas. This is crazy. 17 kills. 17 against 2. The boss is already hard at work, dropping the core in hit points. Can they even defend against the boss? I mean, even that might be a struggle, and it's going to be nearly impossible if the rest of the team just moves in and goes for the right click. Invidum a bit too far out. He gets locked down. Do they get the kill? They don't even get the kill here. That's just way too much to save them. That core is down to 38%. Bloomby is moving back now. They're just rushing in, and this is a victory for ESC Gaming. They drop the core, they take the game, and they advance to the finals of the Open the Nexus tournament over Team Fancy.
Holy cow, that burst comp that we did see for ESC Gaming really did work. That Stitches combination with the hook, the stun, the Hunter's Mark on Tyrande, and all that burst coming from Jaina really did work here against Team Fancy. And Fancy never really got that setup that they were looking for. They never got the control on the map that they were trying to get, and they just struggled. They were always attempting to claw their way back into the game, but every single time ESC was there meeting their onslaught, isolating one of the targets, hooking him in, taking him down, and turning it into a 5 versus 4 fight. A great game of ESC Gaming, very, very good control on the map here, and they were able to take this match against Team Fancy and stopping Team Fancy, at least for today. But the new team has done very well in the tournament and got a few really good victories, also against other teams like Gamers2 and also Madcore. So they are starting to rise in the European ranking once again, but well, ESC was a bit stronger today, and they will advance now to the finals where they're gonna meet Team Arthurs, the Russian team. So guys, we're gonna see that game soon here on the channel. I hope that you enjoyed the match today. If you did, give it a thumbs up on YouTube. I'm gonna see you soon for the next games of Heroes of the Storm on Calder TV. Bye bye.